For decades, the Odyssey was nothing but a ghost story told in the cold corridors of the Earth space fleet. The massive starship had vanished without a trace on a routine mission to explore the uncharted Vortex Nebula, leaving behind a crew presumed lost forever. No distress calls, no debris, no explanation. Just silence. Then one day, after nearly 30 years of waiting, it appeared again. The sky above the Earth's orbital command center shimmered with an eerie light. Radar operators, who had long since stopped monitoring the sector, were jolted by a blip, an enormous vessel moving at impossible speeds toward Earth. Commander Arya Malik stood at the observation deck, eyes fixed on the incoming silhouette. The ship was unmistakable, the Odyssey. But it was different now. The hull shimmered with an iridescent glow, and strange geometric patterns pulsed along its surface like a heartbeat. No human craft had ever exhibited such technology. The world held its breath. Inside the Odyssey, Captain Elias Voss stared at the viewscreen. 30 years ago, their ship had been swallowed by a temporal storm deep within the Vortex Nebula. Time had twisted, stretched, and fractured, tossing them into a realm where physics no longer obeyed familiar laws. It was a place beyond space and time, where reality bent and broken machines were mended by forces they could not explain. The crew had survived, but their ship had been transformed. Strange beings, neither fully machine nor flesh, had approached them in that otherworldly domain. These entities called themselves the arbiters of the continuum, custodians of the space-time fabric. They had watched humanity's relentless curiosity and indomitable will, and in that warped dimension, they offered a gift: impossible technology. The Odyssey had become a vessel that could slip between dimensions, bend gravity, and harness energy from the very void. But such power came with a cost. To return to their reality, the crew had to master these new capabilities and prepare for a threat lurking in the shadows of the stars. Back on Earth, scientists and military strategists scrambled to understand the ship's new technology. The Odyssey docked at the orbital station, and a new generation of engineers stared in awe at its alien yet familiar design. When Captain Voss emerged, his face was weathered but resolute. "We bring more than ourselves," he said. "We bring a chance for humanity to leap beyond its limits." The impossible tech was beyond reverse engineering for now. But the ship's weapons, defensive systems, and propulsion dwarfed anything in Earth's arsenal. The Odyssey could cloak itself in shadows, fire beams that distorted reality, and shield against attacks that could vaporize whole fleets. But the true test came swiftly. The XLTHAR warships were brutal, armed with weapons that shredded planets and devoured stars. Earth's defenses were no match. In orbit, as the enemy fleet closed in, Commander Malik coordinated the defense with the Odyssey's new capabilities. Captain Voss and his crew demonstrated the ship's unbelievable powers. The Odyssey darted through space, shifting dimensions, striking from nowhere, and disappearing again. The battle was unlike anything humanity had faced. The Odyssey unleashed pulses of energy that twisted space-time, disrupting the XLTHAR's weapons and collapsing their formations. Earth's ships, emboldened by the Odyssey's presence, fought back with renewed courage. During a critical moment, when the enemy flagship targeted Earth's orbital command, the Odyssey executed a maneuver no one believed possible. It folded space, appearing inside the enemy ship's core, where Captain Voss and his elite team disabled their main weapon and spread a virus into their systems that scrambled their technology. The XLTHAR fleet retreated. The victory was a watershed moment for humanity. The Odyssey's return was more than just a miracle. It was proof that Earth could survive and thrive against impossible odds. The technology gifted by the Arbiters, combined with human grit and ingenuity, had turned the tide. Humanity's place in the cosmos was no longer fragile or uncertain. They had stepped into a new era, one where vanished ships could come back with powers beyond comprehension, and where humans could stand toe-to-toe with the galaxy's greatest threats. In the quiet after the battle, Captain Voss stood looking at the stars. "Vanished, but not defeated," he said softly. "The Odyssey returns to guide humanity through the darkness and into the light. And Earth, once lost and forgotten, was never the same again."